Good evening and welcome to Atlantic Showcase, home of the benevolent fun. Tonight we are so privileged to feature Callehan. Would you please welcome our host, James O'Malley.
StudioEast Atlantic Showcase, where we showcase some of the best talent in all of Atlantic Canada and beyond. But tonight we're not going beyond. Tonight we're going to stick to this area with a gentleman who was on the show. I don't even remember exactly how long. It's been a while. But he was on the show before, and it was kind of funny because I introduced this particular person as the guy to see if you wanted Celtic music. And then he went ahead and he played all kinds of really fun songs, and not one of them was Celtic. And I feel like I let everybody down. So I don't know if he's going to be doing any Celtic stuff tonight. We're going to have to find out. Stay tuned. But in the meantime, I will give you Callehan.
Temptation of the four winds, sails bloody as her wine. Old devil as a captain will give it to you, then steal your soul in time. And I can hear the old man knocking. Should I let the old man in? I can hear the old man knocking once again. This legend of the four winds, adrift the fun day shore. Burnt coat lighthouse keeps every dream. Should he open up that door? And he can hear the old man knocking. Should he let the old man in? He can hear the old man knocking once again. All right. You forfeit to the four winds. What need the pirate pay? Embark to dock, I'll blow heaven and earth and haggle your soul away. And you can hear the old man knocking. Should you let the old man in? You can hear the old man knocking once again. Rings of gold, precious stone, a king on the throne. All the money you could have, riches yet unknown. I can hear the old man knocking. Should I let the old man in? I can hear the old man knocking once again. We can hear the old man knocking. Should we let that bastard in? We can hear the old man knocking once again. And I can hear the old man knocking. Thank you for having me back, everyone. Sláinte. My name's Tony. Musically, Callehan. We'll get into all that. I love doing storytelling songs, and I had to start with that song because that's a new single that we have that's out. Ted Small, my bass player, we wrote that, and I love doing story songs. Basically, you'll find us under drinking music. Ashley MacIsaac plays on that song with us, and a lot of stories and just how that all went down in the video and the making of that. And that comes out on Wednesday, All Saints Day, Day of the Dead. We thought it'd be kind of a cool, just kind of tag into, you know, a special thing. So drinking some local brews here. So I got something from down home, Annapolis Royal here. And may you live as long as you want and never want as long as you live. Sláinte. So I appreciate being back here, and Terry asked me about coming on the show, and I'm like, well, can we do a sort of like storytelling? Because that's kind of like a lot of my songwriting is historic type stuff. And they let me in. So basically, that song, I don't know if you kind of caught the premise or not, but it's sort of like, I've always been intrigued by, I mean, spiritual things are a big deal to me. Tell by my tattoos, but you know, whatever. And always intrigued by how Robert Johnson went to the crossroads and sold his soul to the devil. And I was thinking about, what if the devil was a captain of a pirate ship and he could come to you wherever you are and give you whatever you wanted in exchange for your soul? So that's what that song's about. And when Ted originally wrote lyrics in that back in 1996, he did it from the lighthouse keeper's perspective, just the devil tempting him to turn off the light for the night, you know, and give him whatever he wanted. So we brought in Burnt Coat Head Lighthouse into it, and part of the music video is filmed there, which is kind of fun. Yeah, so please check that out on November 1st, Wednesday, and I'll be doing a little online premiere with that where we can interact and chat and talk about it. And Ashley makes that music video. He really does. I mean, so humbled, like, we're almost, actually he's a year younger than me, so it's hard to call him a childhood hero. But back in the day when I was at Acadia, just like Ashley MacIsaac was blowing up. So it was like crazy when he agreed to do some songs with me. And this is actually the third song, but none of the other two were released yet. So still to come. I'm going to go into another song here, and James and I are going to chat in a little bit, but historic songs again. I live in Windsor Junction, originally from a little place called Bear River, the Annapolis County side of Bear River. Just to rub that in to all you Digby County people. I love to make fun of Digby, but I love you. But I live in Windsor Junction, and I was chatting with an Irish historian, because I love Irish music, obviously. I sort of say, like, if Waylon Jennings joined the Dropkick Murphys, that's the kind of band I want to be in. And that's what Callehan tries to be like, you know. But in Windsor Junction in 1856, there was this riot. And this Irish historian told me it was the most infamous incident that happened in Irish history outside of Ireland. It happened in Windsor Junction. And I'm sorry if you're British, love you, but this song is not from your perspective. It's from the Irish Catholics. Because on May 26, 1856, they were celebrating Corpus Christi, doing a processional through the street, probably dirt road, whatever, means body of Christ. They were working on the railroad, and all the laborers, the ones working with their hands, there was the Irish Catholics. There were some Germans there too. But the ones telling them what to do were the English Protestants. Well, the English Protestants made fun of the Irish Catholic laborers when they were celebrating Corpus Christi. So what could the Irish do? They rioted at the main foreman's shanty and became known as the Gourley Shanty Riot. And because what happened is Halifax sent 100 militia out to Windsor Junction to break up the riot. I'm sure the By-High wasn't there then. It probably took a little while. And in charge of the railroad at the time was Joseph Howe. We know him later as premier and famous for that. But many people say it was the black mark on his career because he took some of the Irishmen to court, and he said whether they be Catholic, Muslim, or Jew, they're all foolish. Catholics in the legislature that were liberals across the floor became Tories, and it overthrew the government. So it sent a ripple through the colonies, so they say. So, sorry, that's an important part of my show, the beer drinking. So the Gourley Shanty Riot. There's a live version online by Callehan, us, and then there's the studio version as well that we recorded with Ryan Roberts on the first album. Didn't know you were in for a history lesson. that fair spring day in 56, the faithful march for Corpus Christi, railroad foreman through words of hate from Anglo-Tons that can't relate, to callous hands and hearts of love for body and blood of Christ above. But Irish pride, it will survive. Green when trampled, be still alive, yeah. Riot, out to the shanty, feeling lucky, now are you Gorley? Cry no more and raise like this, riot forevermore. Gaelic hearts did rage them on, Halifax and 100 strong. Militiamen with only one function, squash that riot at Windsor Junction. Riot to the shanty, feeling lucky, now are you Gorley? Cry no more and raise like fists, riot forevermore. Bearing chains, their charges read by Joseph Howe, the railroad head. Infamously, these words dispute, Catholics be foolish as Muslim or Jew. That's what he said. So we'll riot out to the shanty, feeling lucky, now are you Gorley? Cry no more and raise like this, riot forevermore. Ha ha. And we'll riot to the shanty, feeling lucky in the walls of Gorley. Cry for more, point raised and fist, riot forevermore, yeah. And we'll riot to the shanty, feeling lucky in the walls of Gorley. Cry for more, point raised and fist, riot forevermore. And we'll riot forevermore. And we'll riot forevermore. Little love song that I wrote. The Gorley Shanty Riot. All right. Well, hopefully I'm not the only one here drinking. Hopefully someone has a beer at home. Actually, I know I'm not the only one drinking because I gave Church Blonde to James, and I think Allison. It sounds like romper room right now. Like I see Allison drinking beer, which she took. Which one she took? Oh, she took a Box and Rock beer, and yeah. May your home never be large enough to hold all of your friends. Slancha. I love my Guinness, but I love to drink local too. Speaking of local and not so local, like within 15 minutes of starting here, my phone rang and I never answer it. But it's Brian Doucette from Edmonton calling me from his brand new number. He just moved there. And a lot of people that know me know he's one of my best friends. And Callehan and the Brian Doucette band are basically illegitimate cousins. But we wrote a song together in the heat of COVID. We were hanging out at the graveyard. I know that sounds horrible, but we were doing research on another song that we only half wrote. We'll get into that maybe another day. But we ran into the Halifax Titanic Society, and we're standing at the graves of one of the musicians that played on the Titanic. And this was one of the first days we could see each other again. We're like, are we allowed to hug each other standing out here outside, right? Like, it's hard to believe what, like 2 or 3 years ago, what life was like now. This post-COVID, I struggle to say that. COVID's not going anywhere. But now that we're back to whatever we're back to. But yeah, so chatting with people, the members of the Halifax Titanic Society, and it influenced us to write a song about the musicians in the Titanic. Later on, like there is a studio version, but it's not mass produced yet. It's just on a very select CD that we only did 56 copies of with some other things. It'll be out there at some point. But we're on the 110th anniversary of the sinking, or when the Titanic sunk, with the Belfast Titanic Society, Halifax Titanic Society, and it was us and Heather Rankin. So we kind of joke that I'm sure Heather Rankin was really proud to be on there with Callehan and Brian Doucette. But the song just hopefully pays tribute to these 8 gentlemen that did what they loved, trying to bring hope when there's no hope to be had, and did what they loved right to the very end. They played music for the rest of their lives. And also during COVID, with the Nova Scotia online kitchen party and a few other things, people kind of realized just how important music really is, how important it is to stop. And now we're all so busy again. We need to be reminded of that. And the chorus in this just talks about the importance of music in hard times. One line says, and I don't know if it was Brian's idea or mine, says, "It can't save your life, but it may save your soul." So this is in honor of the musicians at the Titanic the band played on. Boarded as strangers to then die as friends. Johnny B. Clark amongst 8 musicians. Second class guests hired for first class fun. But unexpected hell can bring out the best in someone. When panic and chaos begins, duty and honor can win. When life pulls you down, thinking you'll drown, music will always be there in the end. The view of the iceberg like their strings and their keys, the depth of their character was aimed to appease. Keeping them calm was the music's main goal. Can't save your life, but it may save your soul. Panic and chaos begins, duty and honor can win. When life pulls you down, thinking you'll drown, music will always be there in the end. As the ship sank, the band just played on, the liveliest of 352 songs. Song got him on a bitter spring night. They continued to play for the rest of their lives. Panic and chaos begins, duty and honor can win. When life pulls you down, thinking you'll drown, music will always be there in the end. Panic and chaos begins, duty and honor can win. When life pulls you down, thinking you'll drown, music will always be there in the end. A toast to the gentlemen of the Titanic that did what they loved right to the end, and to all of you that do the right thing even when no one is watching. Sociable on 3, whatever you have at home. 1, 2, 3, sociable. A little different than the crowd at the Loose Cannon that I usually play at. How you doing, James?
I'm doing very well.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
I don't remember when you were actually here. That's the problem with what happened.
No, and I was here with
It's
the
a
band,
big old
with
blur.
Colby, Ethan, and Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of let everybody down. I said, yeah, we're going to get some amazing Celtic music, folks. And it was a fantastic night. And you guys played some super fun stuff. So there was no complaints whatsoever.
Yeah, we don't have one Celtic instrument in the band. So we're very influenced by Celtic music. I love the Chieftains, Christy Moore. the Pogues. But I mean, the Pogues are that switch to Celtic punk, right?
Right.
Then later on,
You
Dropkick
mentioned
Murphys and
Dropkick
Flogging
Murphys, yeah.
Molly. And,
I was lucky enough to see them in Ottawa once.
oh, yeah.
I
Amazing.
was wearing a kilt. Dude on the stage goes, "Dress Gordon." I was like, yes? He goes, "I know my tartans." Fair enough, fair enough.
Nice, love it.
Okay, I ask a lot of bands this question because I'm always interested in this. Why Callehan?
Oh, okay. I mean, the other founding member was our drummer. We have a few drummers that alternate, but Greg Rose, and we just kind of started. We met, believe it or not, in CrossFit, but he still looks like he does CrossFit. I don't. And I mentioned the idea to him about Callehan, and I've got a variation of the Callehan family crest there because my great Irish grandmother was Kathleen O'Callahan. And my mother bears that name too. So I have the name written here in a rose tattoo. Some people might get that reference. But my great Irish grandmother, Kathleen O'Callahan from County Cork, died around when I was conceived. So my great grandfather always thought I was her reincarnated. And so I'm like, I changed the spelling a little bit so it didn't match anything else on Spotify and whatnot. So,
Right.
And yeah, Callehan. And I guess it's an homage to her. It's not necessarily that I believe it, but I like it. And he told me stories about World War I that he normally didn't talk about, right? Because he truly felt I was his wife reincarnated, you know.
That's really cool, actually.
Thank you.
Wow, yeah. And an excellent reason to name, I guess, the band and your musical.
Yeah, because
genre
it's my music
before.
artist, like we were talking before,
Yeah.
like, what was Prince's name? What was Bono's name?
Yeah, I
right?
couldn't tell you. I have
Yeah,
absolutely no
and
idea.
so, I mean, when we play, we gig very different ways. So a lot of times it's Callehan duo. Callehan is me, Callehan duo, Callehan trio, or Callehan band. There's four of us. Sometimes we squeeze in a fifth if we can nail Ryan Reynolds.
Callehan Quintet. Right?
Ryan Roberts down, who produces our stuff for the most part with us now,
Nice.
and phenomenal musician from the Valley, so and best friend too. So if you catch him, he plays with Morgan Tony, and they're playing all over the place. So
Okay.
yeah, one of the best mandolin players you'd ever find. So
There you
anyway,
go.
I like to give props out because I mean I'm just surrounded by all these talented people. So,
Yeah, welcome to Nova Scotia, right?
exactly.
Where can we see you coming up?
So every Friday except this Friday, I'm at the Loose Cannon. And this Friday is Nova Scotia Music Week. So looking forward to going down there, being inspired, learning, and because, again, we have so many brilliant musicians here and it's so many great organizations like Music Nova Scotia. But every Friday at the Loose Cannon, every Thursday, I run a songwriters event. You know, sometimes me and another songwriter, sometimes an open mic at Pizza Town in Lower Sackville.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, and then been playing Halifax Marriott quite a bit. The full band is playing for the first time since. No, we did play in August. We played in June at the Fleet Club, but in December 16th we're playing at the Parkside Pub. Haven't played there before, so
Okay.
as a full band. So that'll be definitely looking forward to that.
Awesome. Okay, that's good stuff. Folks, lots of stuff coming up. Definitely
Yeah.
want to check them out. What about online? Where do we find you?
Oh yeah, so Callehan.com, yeah, Spotify, YouTube, and again, pumped about the music video coming out
Yes.
November
Tell
1st,
us.
right? We released 2 songs together. Been a little while since we had a release, just pulling things together, so we released 2 songs at the same time. The music video to Ignore History, which I'll be doing next, is already out, but the song we did with Ashley MacIsaac, it was a year and a half to 2 years in the making, being recorded 3 places: Shoebox Studios in New Glasgow, my place in Windsor Junction with Ryan Roberts in Kentville. So it's definitely the greatest thing I think we've ever put out there, and definitely pumped to have that come out. So yeah, Spotify, YouTube, all those things under Callehan with an E, Callehan.
Yes. No
Because
spelling.
oh yeah, because I mean, often playing somewhere down the South Shore, oh, they spelled it wrong. But 9 times out of 10, they've been spelling it right because I'm the one that bastardized the spelling on it, right? So it's my
And,
fault.
well, and for your reasons.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't match anyone else on Spotify
There you go. That's
or Apple Music.
or any of the other
Yeah,
10
all those
power
things.
billion.
Yeah, anywhere you stream music. The live album, Maurice O'Coin, like my older brother, basically he produced that one, and it really brings out the energy. It's far from perfect. We're always far from perfect. We always say often with more presence than talent, right?
Fair.
Because beer drinking music is our genre, right?
That's it.
You know, whether it's country, rock, or Celtic, you know. So,
Exactly.
but yeah, so the live album is a lot of fun, and we've got a lot of covers, and we paid everyone to have them on there, including Dropkick Murphys and Dolly
Nice.
Parton and everyone who's on there. So yeah, so
Fantastic.
find us wherever.
Excellent. Okay, we're going to get back to some music.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for talking to us and for being here.
Perfect.
And cheers.
Appreciate you, brother. Cheers. So the next song is called Ignore History. It released on all streaming platforms on Friday, October the 13th, the same day that we released The Four Winds with Ashley MacIsaac. But this is a song, I kind of had it written like 4 or 5 years ago, way before COVID, just kind of about the weird political situations of the world. And then after COVID again, wherever we are now, after COVID, post-COVID, kind of wrote it, you know, with a little other changes, because it feels like, remember like in the early 20s, like it seemed like everyone could agree to disagree, like the early 2000s, I mean, everyone could agree to disagree. We didn't have to have labels. I could be just me and you be you, and we have a beer together. And, you know, postmodernism kind of fell away, you know, and now everyone has to be labeled. Everyone has to sit with a political camp. And why can't we just have a beer together? Most of my friends think differently than I do politically and religiously, you know, but that's cool because it challenges my thinking. And hopefully we can challenge each other's thinking without trying to push anything on each other. So it's basically ignore history, repeat history. The world needs a damn beer. Ignore history, repeat history, stand and be counted, your voices to hear. Soon as we realize views from another side, knowing God gave us one mouth and two ears. Well, they say they're left wing, while he says he's right wing. Sitting on this plane, I want both to fly. There's no doubting your stance, that unwavering confidence. Agree to disagree, come on, give it a try. Ignore history, repeat history, stand and be counted, your voices to hear. Soon as we realize views from another side, knowing God gave us one mouth and two ears. Why does our difference lead us to self-defense? It's Big Brother's game now when we're living in fear. Who says it has to be a civil ring rivalry? Sit down beside me, the world needs a damn beer. Yeah, it does. Ignore history, repeat history, stand and be counted, your voices to hear. Soon as we realize views from another side, knowing God gave us one mouth and two ears. Well, she has her left, while he has his right. You throw it all together, and you just shake up the fight. Now if her left is right, does it mean his right is wrong? Let's be on the same team now, before all rights are gone. Ignore history, repeat history, stand and be counted, your voices to hear. Soon as we realize views from another side, knowing God gave us one mouth and two ears. Ignore history, repeat history, stand and be counted, your voices to hear. Soon as we realize views from another side, knowing God gave us one mouth and two ears. Pour me a beer and I'll lend you my ear. Here's to agreeing to disagree and loving each other and sitting at the table. God bless. 1, 2, 3. Sociable. All right. I feel like I'm drinking alone. I know there's some people out there that are not leaving me hanging. And I got James and Allison right here, too. So, all right. Having fun here. Really glad to be back. Of course, I love to be with the band and whatnot, but I can make friends pretty easily, you can tell. And I'll do a song about the first time that I went to Ireland. And with an old Acadia buddy, we were just young, dumb, looking for fun. Now we're just not young. Oop. And basically, we had no agenda. It was really cheap to fly from London to Cork, Ireland with Ryanair. And ran into different girls whose last name was O'Callahan. They were nice, but it was going to stay there. And then traveling up the road, checked out the Blarney Stone and whatnot. But driving on the other side of the road got stressful, and the roads were pretty narrow. And John said, well, let's stop here for the night. And the place was called Limerick. Of course, people have heard of it, but found out later it's called Stab City. So we went to a bar in Limerick and asked the bartender, what's there to do in Limerick? And we got the best advice ever. He said, lads, this place is a shithole. Go to Galway. And there's a reason why everyone under the sun sings and writes a song about Galway. And this is my song called To Galway. We met up with some Swiss farmers and a couple German girls, had a great time. And if you go to Ireland, you have to go to Galway. Was a cheap as flight to Cork with Ryanair, but the girls in that city, my mother's named a bear. So kissing the Blarney, closest thing to romance, a narrow trail north, we headed by chance. Wrong side of the road, my knuckles were white. John there beside me said stop for the night. An afternoon in Limerick to a pub then did go, but the barkeep said, lads, this place is a shithole. Go to Galway was wisdom we're given. I wish I could thank him on this side of heaven. My heart and more in that town did I share. All Gauls to Galway, raise a pint, meet me there. The land of foreigners, a cultural tapestry. Spanish, French, was a German with me. My hand on her back, her race so blunt. Said, think you like that? Wait till it's on my front. That's what she said. Go to Galway was wisdom we're given. I wish I could thank him on this side of heaven. My heart and more in that town did I share. All Gauls to Galway, raise a pint, meet me there. Live music, raise pints, folks sharing the crack. Return me to Galway, must find my way back. Old friends there be gone, but new friends start the same. A dark hair by long walk will be my new flame. Yes, I stole that from Steve Earle. Go to Galway was wisdom we're given. I wish I could thank him on this side of heaven. My heart loved that place like no other I found. No city for you turn this clattering round. Go to Galway was wisdom we're given. I wish I could thank him on this side of heaven. My heart did more in that town did I share. All Gauls to Galway, raise a pint, meet me there. All right, raise that pint. Here's to a long life and a merry one, to a quick death and an easy one, to a pretty girl and an honest one, and to a cold beer another one. Sláinte on 3. 1, 2, 3. Sláinte. I often make sure people know sláinte means health. Sláinte means to your health, because drinking is good for you. That's not what Atlantic Showcase has said at all or told me to say. That's Callehan wisdom. probably time for at least one more. And I should probably do, well, this brewery, the Boxing Rock, has a really cool story. And Brian Doucette and I wrote this song called The Boxing Rock. We recorded it with Callehan in Shelburne, and the brewery paid for us to record it. Because back in the day, captains would drop off bickering sailors on this rock called the Boxing Rock. And you could only see it when the tide is out. When the tide is in, it's covered up. And basically, before the tide came back up, they'd be picking up one or picking up two. Boxing Rock Brewery added to the story that if they were both still there, they'd have a beer together. So, sounds like a fun Nova Scotia drinking tune. So, I mean, it basically wrote itself. But as soon as I heard about the brewery, I'm like, I want to write a song about that. And then they gave me permission to do so and brought in Brian Doucette. Check out the music video. It's fun online. The Boxing Rock. And we'll drop. Let's drop the ball. The bastards getting sorted out on Boxing Rock, and it's up. Tide knows no slack. Talk it out or sock it out before we come back. A fishing ship to sea, just off of Shelburne. The waters were mean, a tough lesson to learn. Captain knew a tale of legend round here. Apparently read it on the side of the beer where they drop. Let's drop them off. The bastards getting sorted out on Boxing Rock, and it's up. Tide knows no slack. Talk it out or sock it out before we come back. Mentioned a spot where sailors would go. Disputes became bouts when it came to blows. Waters unveiled, a hot coat appeared. Differences are settled with fists or a beer, and we'll drop. Let's drop them off. Bastards getting sorted out on Boxing Rock, and it's up. Tide knows no slack. Talk it out or sock it out before we come back. A guy's wife and buddy were sleeping around. Deckhand punched skipper and he fell to the ground. Captain said, crew, no, this ain't right. Gotta be answering to the Boxing Rock tonight, and we'll drop. Let's drop them off. The bastards getting sorted out on Boxing Rock, and it's up. Tide knows no slack. Talk it out or sock it out before we come back. What will they do? What will we do? Picking up one or we're picking up two. What will they do? What will they do? One lost the sea or will two have a brew? And we drop them off. The bastards unsorted out on Boxing Rock, and it's up. Tide knows no slack. Crack a beer, toast the beer. The boys are all back. Yeah, we drop them off. The bastards unsorted out on Boxing Rock, and it's up. Tide knows no slack. Talk it out or sock it out before we come back. Talk it out or sock it out before we come back. Thank you, everyone. I'm Tony. Find me online as Callehan, and subscribe to the YouTube channel and all those things, and do that for all the local musicians. It makes a big difference. We love you for it, and we thank you for it. And just listen to the music. Let it get out there. Thank you guys for having me here. James, Terry, everyone else. Appreciate it all. Slancha.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's great having you back here.
Oh.
We will have you again. Ladies and gentlemen, as you heard earlier, there are lots of places to check out Callehan and all the various music that he is involved with. Definitely do so. All kinds of live stuff coming up. Definitely check this guy out because, well, you heard him tonight. Lots of fun. If you're into a party and drinking music, hey, he's your guy. So Again, thank you so much for joining us here at MediaWorks Studio East Atlantic Showcase. I'm James. Before we head out, I just want to give a real quick shout out to who we got behind the scenes here. We have Zach on the camera over here. We have Adam on the camera right here. We have Allison switching between the various ones so you guys get a really cool show. We have Alan on lights. Terry's keeping everything rolling. Did I miss anybody? And I'm James. Thank you so much. Have an awesome evening or whatever time it happens to be. We'll see you next week right here, MediaWorks Studio East Atlantic Showcase. Peace, folks.